Coach Ron Jackson. Oops, that's not supposed to be up there yet. Coach Ron Jackson, Nathan McCreary, and we're waiting to see if Brandon can get in. He is obviously putting little Cole and his little princess down for night. And if he can join us, great. If not, we will move on. He probably does not want to join us, Coach. He went 3-5 in his picks for the playoffs. You went 7-1. Hats off to you, sir. I went 5-3, and the chat actually went 6-2 if you count the Tennessee Tech, which leaned that way. 7-1 if you counted North Dakota. Rather. So good on chat. Happy to see you guys. Where is my chat? Doohickey. I got to get that up here just a second. Hey, guys. Hey, Steven's in the house. Austin's in the house. Lyle, great to see you. New Age is back. And looks like Chris Monstrongolo. Brandon Haddock. How's my people? We're doing great, man. I hope the guy from Yale that was giving us some shenanigans joins us. But let's go ahead and talk about your Thanksgiving, Coach. I'm just looking at myself. I look like I've gained 8 pounds, honestly. I had 2 Thanksgiving dinners, and it was great. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. In the chat, tell us how your Thanksgiving went and what your favorite dessert was, or what something that maybe happened over this weekend. But, Coach, how the heck are you?
You know what? I'm good. I actually rolled my scales back 15 pounds on Wednesday just to make sure that I'm covered for the holidays.
You know, if you weigh yourself on carpet, it takes some pounds off. So just a little tips.
Dude, I didn't weigh my. Listen, I done held my breath. I've done everything I can to get that scale as good as I can, and it is what it is. But you know, I'm blessed. We had a lot of good food. Son and my daughter-in-law showed up, so we played a lot of cards. We talked a lot.
What kind of cards y'all play?
Oh, spades.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. I probably hadn't been beating spades in 10, 15 years. So, matter of fact, we spotted
rook.
them.
You ever heard of rook?
Oh yeah, well, I played rook before.
Yeah,
dude.
Rook's good.
Listen. I'm the oldest great grandchild, so I'm 10 years. Anyway, I didn't want to be a farmer, so I learned how to play games. I can play rook. I can play risk. I can play clue, monopoly, pool, poker. Dude, I can do all them, and I'm good.
All right, I believe you. We had some. My daughter is an ace. She. There's something strange. Not strange. There's something intense about her competitive level, and rook's a kind of a thinking game, and so so we. Yeah, it's good. We had a good time, too. Oh, man, a bunch of people in the chat. Let me see. Austin, Thanksgiving went well. Watched Revenge of the Nerds, and ESPN Plus was also fun. Revenge of the Nerds, what a classic movie. Great, good stuff. Kobe Kluth coming in. Turkey, ham, and ribs. Meat Tornado. Let's go.
Wow.
Let's go. Meat Tornado. That sounds like a great college fantasy football team. Hand pies made one by one by daughters. Pumpkin and apple. Steve Hotchkiss coming in. Played Mexican trained dominoes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not familiar with the terminology and risk. Stephen McKenzie. I haven't played a board game in a long time. Honestly, that's a shame. That's a shame.
Yeah, I hadn't either. We wanted to play the game of life. We don't have that. We played Clue. I'm good at that too. And but you know, listen. We ate a lot. We had a lot of bull custard. I
have not made it yet. It's on the list though.
Dude, you thank me later.
I'm gonna.
You know, had big breakfast in the morning, dude. It's been a blessing.
I tell you what, I did go to my grocery store close to me, and they had a bunch of eggnog, but no boiled Revenge of the Nerds. Austin, you freaking called me on it. I totally missed that one. Yeah. Okay, got it. Revenge of the Nerds. Nicely done. Nicely done. It's not working so much. It's not working great. Well, hey, scrolling is the finalists for the Walter Payton, the 30 finalists that they announced. You can check that out. I've color-coded it with quarterbacks and running backs and wide receivers. Take a look, gander at that. But let's go ahead and get into our games. That's what we're here for. And let's see, Coach Jackson, the one that I think everyone shocked was this 43-42 historic playoff thriller. It was Yale stunning the Penguins, trailing by 28 points in the second half, 35-7 at halftime. The Bulldogs scored 29 unanswered points to mount an incredible comeback. Running back Josh Pitzenberger was the hero, rushing for 209 yards, breaking a 56-yard game-winning touchdown run with 3 minutes left to secure the Ivy League's first ever postseason victory. Yale used 84 offensive plays to Youngstown State's just 53. That tells you something, Coach. 53 plays. 3 turnovers helped develop the Yale comeback. Bulldogs scored a touchdown on their final 5 possessions. It was Pitzenberger, that 209 yards, 3 touchdowns. Bo Brungard, you hate to see his season end this way, but it is what it is. 317 passing yards, 90 yards rushing, 6 total touchdowns. And then quarterback Dante Reno for Yale, 21 for 38, 260 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was intercepted twice and sacked 4 times. Jackson Santiago and Lucius Anderson both had excellent games for Yale. Santiago made a career-high 9 receptions, 109 yards. Anderson made 8 catches for 134 yards and a touchdown. And newly minted Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year, Abu Kamara, led the Bulldogs defense throughout the match, recording 5 total tackles, 3 pass breakups, and a crucial fumble recovery in the third quarter. Just give me your thoughts, Coach. This one, we went back and forth on YouTube. Someone called us smug because we talked about Ivy League. Probably Brandon, who pokes the bear sometimes, talking about why they belong there. But what was your thoughts on this one? It looks like Youngstown State is going to run away with it, and then boom goes the dynamite.
Dude, just a tale of 2 different halves. I watched a little bit. I was channel flipping, so I watched a little bit of it, and finally I just kind of turned it off because it seemed like it was getting kind of out of hand. And I look back, and next thing you know, they got 20 points. So I messaged one of our friends one of our friends in the chat, and I told him, I said, I'm glad to see Yale fighting, and looks like they're going might make a comeback. And I'd be dadgum if they didn't. And here's the impressive thing to me: not only did they come back and win, hell, they was leading with about 2 or 3 minutes left to go in the ball game.
Yeah.
Must have just been an absolute collapse by the defense, and quite honestly by the offense. They only put up 7 points in the second half. Tough for all those guys. And then you come out today and you see a lot of the all conference awards, like I think their quarterback Brumgard, he was offensive player of the year in the conference. So tough way to end the season for those guys, but still a good run for them this year.
It is. Let's go ahead and take a listen to what Coach Phillips had to say. Obviously, very, very well respected. Here are his thoughts. It's about a minute long, so here we go.
Yeah, you kind of see a pattern there, coming from last week and into this week where, you're playing great defense, great offense, you jump out to such a big lead, and that's probably the most, difficult thing, head coach, because you feel like you not only let your players down, but you let your city down, your alumni, your fans. And that's the toughest thing when you go see your young men in there, and some of them played their last game for Youngstown State, and how much you want to give a win. And, when I look over the whole season, we've had our flaws. We've been scarred. We've had our battles. We've had our games where we had to come back and win. We've had where we, blew leads like we did today. So, second half, they kind of exposed that, got the momentum going. And this time, sometimes you got to figure this out, and we didn't figure it out today. I'm still proud of our young men, proud of the guys in that locker room. You want to get them a win. You want to move on. But that second half made way too many mistakes.
Ugh. Coach Jackson, you got a feel for him. That's a great veteran head coach there, having to go in his locker room and say goodbye to probably a lot of those players that we call their names all year long, like Bo Brungard, unless he stays. That's a tough one. But he said it continued from last week. We're not playing 60 minutes of football.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? Now, I'll go ahead and kind of address the elephant in the room. He talks about letting all these people down. Really, don't look to me like he let a whole lot of people down because didn't nobody really show up for the ball game, which is an absolute shame
Yeah,
for
we're
the
gonna get there.
people.
Just under 5,000 people in a 20,000 seat stadium. It looked bad.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? And they were one of the higher attended FCS playoffs games that was on Saturday. So that really needs to be addressed. But that's for another uh, show, another conversation. I don't see, and again, I didn't see the second half, but I agree with some of our people in the chat. Why don't you just run the ball?
Right.
Why don't you go ahead, shorten the game, take the air out of the tires, and go on and take that one in. I don't remember a lot of. I mean, somebody can help me out, but I don't remember there being a lot of turnovers or anything like that.
No, they had. They had a couple turnovers, if I'm not mistaken. Did Youngstown State, but they did just some boneheaded things, and honestly, coaching and individual effort kind of things.
Yeah. That's kind of what I've heard, and and like I said, it's a shame the season has to end like that. But I ain't taking nothing away from Yale. It would have been easy for them cats to lay them wires on the ground and just lay down, and they fought and made their school proud, and looked to play again.
Yeah, and by the way, a name we don't really talk about, Doug Phillips, legendary coach there at Youngstown State, has done a great job. Tony Reno is the head coach there at Yale. Coach, he is in his 14th season, and has won 5 Ivy League championships. And now what he's done, I'm just saying, Holy Cross at one point, their head coach, guess who? The new UCLA head coach. You can make that jump from FCS. James Madison, now UCLA. And listen, I'm just saying, Tony Reno's doing something there at Yale. Good for him.
Doing a heck of a job. And I don't mind telling you, he's a heck of a recruiter. They're not Northeastern. Their roster's just not made of Northeastern kids. They got them coming from everywhere. He's got a good program. I'm like Steve McKenzie. I believe Yale deserved to go, and the other team that made it, I don't believe that they should have gone.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the other ones. Let me get through here. I hope it's 40 degrees in Bozeman. Yeah, you bet you do. 100% coaching, says Chris Monstrongolo, in the 40s in Florence. And laugh out loud from Brandon Haddock. It's chilly here. It's actually in the 30s. I got my cup of coffee here. When you have a big lead and you have to do what NDSU do, to run the ball down the defensive throats, yeah, if you can, absolutely. Probably need to help them the weather to win. Yeah, they're going to go over to Bozeman, Montana, face the number 2 seed Montana State at 2 p.m. on ESPN+. Of course, we'll be checking that one out. The next game we're going to talk about, Coach Jackson, is this one. We said Ivy League didn't belong. 2 teams should not have come in. And listen, sometimes we're right. Sometimes we're right, and then sometimes we're wrong. But I think people saw this one coming, whether it was Youngstown State or whether it was or Villanova. One of these Ivy League teams didn't belong, and it just turns out Jaden Craig and Harvard did not show up and didn't belong. Villanova absolutely wiped the floor with them. Coach, we'll just kind of go through this one. It was Pat McQuaid's 4 total touchdowns and Isaiah Ragland's 152 yards that really sparked Villanova. It's a historic performance for Harvard because they hadn't been in the playoffs or postseason since 1920 when they played in the Rose Bowl. But this was a great effort by Villanova all around. We mentioned Ragsdale with 152 yards. Jaden Craig, by the way, Walter Payton finalist, was held 9 of 21 passing, 107 yards. Harvard had 106 yards rushing. They were led by DJ Gordon. He had 59 yards on the ground. This one was poorly attended also. Just 2,100 people in attendance on a 40-degree sunny day there in Villanova, Pennsylvania. That is a shame. But Nova put on a show. They will advance and face Lehigh. They've got a pretty good path, Coach Jackson. Just your thoughts on this one.
Well, I'm going to hit the attendance thing first. I bet you Villanova had twice the people a couple of weeks ago before school was out. They've got a decent fan base just, again, didn't show out. Now, I don't know what Harvard did to make Villanova go supernova, but I've never seen Villanova put 52 up on the board like that. They're a team to watch in this next round. I don't mind telling you that, but just nothing worked for Harvard. I watched the first part of that ball game, and nothing worked. They couldn't get anything going. Villanova dominated them up front on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and it was just one of them. It was really over about the time the Crimson got off the bus.
Yeah, once I realized it was kickoff, I was like, "Oh, this ain't going well for the Crimson." By the way, Hotchkiss says the high in Bozeman is going to be 37, the low 27 with just an inch of snow. That's pretty favorable conditions, honestly, in Bozeman, Montana. Villanova Stadium never gets anyone. Played there twice myself. It's Chris Monstrangelo. I don't know enough about their stadium, but this is the problem with FCS football, is that the fan support has got to be there. I know you've got other things going, Pitt and Miami and maybe some other games going on, but this is a playoff atmosphere opportunity. If you get a chance to be there, they do a great job. Tough one, but it was not a great game to go to, so it is what it is, I guess. It is what it is. Not much more to talk about that one. How about this one? Rhode Island, once again, Central Connecticut State University is their opponent. 27-19 is the final. Rhode Island held off a late Blue Devils rally to secure the victory. The Rams dominated early with 24-7 halftime lead behind 2 touchdowns from Devin Farrell. The Devils fought back in the fourth quarter with Brady Olson's touchdown pass, but a blocked extra point and stalled final drive kept them out of reach. Rhode Island advances to face UC Davis in a very late night matchup. Get this, Coach. 685 yards combined in passing offense between these teams. Davin Farrell finished with 374 yards and 2 touchdowns. Did have an interception. Farrell did pass the 5,000-yard mark in his career. Congratulations to him. He now ranks 4th in program history. Marquez Buchanan had 8 catches for 110 yards and 1 touchdown, and his 5 receiving yards shy of joining Brian Foster and Aaron Porter as the only Rams with 3,000-plus receptions in their career. Amari Walker had a career day, catching 4 passes, 95 yards, and his 54-yard reception set up Antoine Littleton Jr.'s touchdown. 2,680 people there in Rhode Island to see this one on a 40-degree day and a sunny day as well. 10 p.m. start for Rhode Island and UC Davis, but this was kind of a repeat from last year. I think Rhode Island saw this as very favorable, and they did not stumble.
Yeah, I think they the score is a little closer than what the ball game really was. And don't get me wrong, I'm proud of the Central Connecticut guys for not quitting, and but Rhode Island's just a better team at this point. I'll be interested to see how they do at UC Davis by the time they get out there. It's a long flight. Well, I'll go into that a little bit later, but we'll see. I think they got a decent challenge. It looked like kind of a tune-up match. Just preparing them for the next week.
Yeah, Ron Lowney. It doesn't matter what the weather's like in Bozeman, Missoula. Full stadiums. Yeah. Always. And that's what we're trying to overcome in the Southeast, because you do have so much other stuff going on in North Dakota State. No offense. It's just we've kind of talked about there's just nothing else going on there. North Dakota, South Dakota, North Dakota State, Montana. You do have other things going on, and but the culture is you go support your team. Matter of fact, I think the show Yellowstone talks about one of the lines in the show is like, all I care about is Yellowstone and Bobcat football. So the culture is strong there to support your teams, and here you just get that divided attention because. We saw it at Kennesaw State, not to bring them up. By the way, Jerry Mack's going to be the next South Florida coach, and Kennesaw State will be looking for a new head coach. Surprise, surprise. You just don't have the culture. You can't build a culture, even with what Kennesaw State was a mid-level FCS team trying to break into the football scene, and they jump FBS because it's the only way for them to make money, because they certainly weren't selling out that little 8,000-seat stadium that they had. And, it's the trick. And by the way, when those folks that are in our chat from Montana, North Dakota State, North Dakota, South Dakota, and they kind of they see it. It makes a difference in these football games, Coach. You played there at Western Kentucky. It made a difference when the stadium was full.
Yeah, well, I mean, it does give you a home court or home field advantage. A lot of these teams, what I hear them say when they travel out of town, because they know the crowd's not going to be there, that they have to bring their own energy. So you think about that. You got to prepare to play, and you got to bring your own energy and your own encouragement. That kind of works against you. Like I said, I'm gonna see how Rhodey travels out to UC Davis, and they better bring their own energy.
Yeah, and that's a CAA champion having to travel out to UC Davis, which is another thing we kind of talked about, is that maybe a conference champion deserves a little bit more respect. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We can talk about that stuff later. All right. No competing funds, no competing media, state funded. Ron Lowney says they do have hunting season. That does compete, but most of those guys are out there hunting at 4 a.m. or whatever. Back just in time for football. Yeah, football stuff. Yep. All right, good stuff in chat there. You guys are awesome. Let's go ahead and roll through this. The next one, Coach, is Lamar and Abilene Christian. A little bit surprising here. Lamar picks up the 38-20 win, secured a decisive win, defeating Lamar. The Wildcats quarterback Stone Earl was the star of the show, accounting for 4 touchdowns, 3 passing, 1 rushing. Earl connected with receiver Javon Gibson, were 2 touchdown passes. ACU jumped out to an early 24-0 lead and never looked back, cruising into the next round of the playoffs. Well, they were faced Stephen F. Austin in a rematch on Saturday, December 6th in Nacogdoches. Good game there for Abilene Christian. They needed this. They needed to kind of solidify that, their standing, I think, because they've had some up and down. Good playoff win for the Wildcats and Keith Patterson.
Yeah, I think so too. One thing that you find about the Keith Patterson coach teams, they don't do anything great, but they do everything really, really, really good. They're good on special teams. They're good on offense. They're good on defense. They're just a well put together team. You can look at it even if you look at the box score, they score just about every quarter. They don't have empty 8 minutes of time. So it didn't surprise me that they would put it on Lamar, and old Stephen F. better get his stuff together for next week too.
And that's a long time rivalry, by the way. So they know each other really, really well. Will be interesting. A 1 p.m. kickoff there for Abilene Christian and SFA. Staying in the Southland, someone mentioned, how about the Southland? I can't remember who it was. Yeah, the Southland didn't really show up. We can have that conversation. Did they deserve 2 playoff selections as well? I'm in for it. Matter of fact, 3, because SFA is in as well. Did they deserve it? Well, right now, looking like no. Illinois State absolutely throttled Sela on the road. A dominating performance by Eastern Illinois. The Redbirds, 6th road win of the season, by the way, which is a pretty cool stat. They intercepted the Lions 4 times and held them just 1 single field goal. Quarterback Tommy Rittenhouse led the offense with both a rushing and receiving touchdown. Illinois State advances to the 2nd round, facing reigning national championship champion North Dakota State. Tommy Rittenhouse was not particularly stellar, as the offense only produced 147 passing yards and 145 rushing yards. Ty Niekamp led the way for the Redbirds defense with 13 tackles to go along with a sack and an interception. Mason Kaplan had 2 interceptions. 3,321 there in southern Louisiana, and on a 67-degree day. Like to see more people out there. Of course, it is Illinois State and North Dakota State, 1 p.m. on ESPN+. You know what? I got to be honest with you. Nobody, let's see, I don't think anybody picked. No, I'm sorry. The chat actually picked Southeastern Louisiana, and Brandon picked Southeastern Louisiana. You and I picked Illinois State. I kind of saw this one coming. The names that we're seeing, Tommy Rittenhouse, although he didn't have a great game, he did what was necessary, and Illinois State's defense did the rest. Yeah,
the defense is what really made my pick right here. And honestly, if the defense comes to play, they'll put a charge into North Dakota State here this week, but the defense has got to come play. their offense it's just okay, but defensively, I think that when they turn it on, they can play pretty good because Sela's got a pretty decent offense. Just ran into a buzzsaw. I'll be interested to see what they do with North Dakota State this week.
Yeah, I agree, and I'd love to have the Rev. I've been on Rev's show and been on a couple of shows with him. He's definitely SFA, true and true. Yeah, talk about one bid conference in the Southland. Should have given the bids to Austin Pistons.
Sure, where's his shirt?
You never know. All right. I mean, Southern Utah's had its ups and downs too. I mean, I'm just kind of saying. NDSU is upper tier FBS school. My screen. By the way, they're getting some votes in the AP top 25. Is that a thing? How FCS team gets the AP top 25 votes? All right. I guess that's kind of cool. Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, well, maybe, I guess. I don't know. That's it's kind of a slap in the face to some of the other FBS teams, in my opinion. So I wouldn't, I wouldn't be saying too terribly much about that. And listen, you don't want you're in the playoffs. You don't want anything to take your focus off of the playoffs, which I don't believe that they do. But that is another chance to put a chink in the armor. Maybe they're thinking about whatever FBS rating is as opposed to getting ready for Illinois State.
Yeah, and Chris Montrangelo, they played Illinois State played NDSU very, very tough before, and so of course, this is going to be at the Fargo Dome. Brandon Haddock, App State was getting AP votes once I guess when they were national champions. That's pretty cool. Didn't know that. Did not know that. All right, up next, we've got this one. Disappointing effort here by Tennessee Tech. It was the fourth quarter that really let them down. North Dakota comes in across, and those of us on the East Coast who were like, this is our chance. The Fighting Hawks said, no, you ain't got no chance. They came in that fourth quarter. It was a 10-6 game in the third. Injury to North Dakota State's quarterback Jerry Kaminsky forced the Fighting Hawks to lean heavily on the run game. They exploded for 21 points in the fourth quarter. I'm not saying Jerry Kaminsky's injury helped them, but it didn't hurt them. I mean, they focused on the run game, and Tennessee Tech could not stop it. Their defense was key all afternoon, forcing 6 turnovers, including 3 strip sacks against Tennessee Tech, 2 leading to scores by Lance Rucker to shut down the Golden Eagles and move on to the second round. Wide receiver, we haven't talked about wide receiver Ding Ding. Do you know Ding Ding, Coach Jackson?
No, I do not.
Wide receiver, yeah, his name's Ding Ding, D-E-N-G. First name and last name. I checked it. Okay. By the way, they didn't have a pronunciation on the pronunciation side, so I'm assuming it's just Ding Ding. I'm not sure. Okay. But wow. He's been a standout receiver for North Dakota last just 2 games. He's had 10 receptions in the last 2 games. Coming into those last 2 games, he only had 6 receptions all year long. He's standing out. North Dakota State defense held Tennessee Tech to 24 yards on the ground and 0 for 1 in the red zone and rallied for 6 sacks in those 2 interceptions. North Dakota faces Tarleton, probably one of the better matchups I think we're going to have this weekend at 1 o'clock on ESPN. It was a grind all game long, and then North Dakota finally grabbed hold and just didn't let go, Coach.
I'll try it like this. It doesn't surprise me that in the right situation that Ding Ding don't stand up.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
I'm guessing that's an ED. Okay, erectile dysfunction joke. Got it?
Gotcha. Right. There we go.
Ding Ding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Listen, Tennessee Tech's defense came to play. Their offense kind of let them down. That's in North Dakota just wore them down, and that's the football they play up in the Missouri Valley Conference. So they came with their game plan, stuck with it, and it paid off for them in the fourth quarter. In order to play with the upper teams in that division, you're going to have to get it done up front, and you're going to have to be able to run the ball.
I didn't see the hit on Kaminsky, New Age. Was that a bad hit? I didn't, honestly, I don't recall seeing the hit at Brandon Haddock. Yeah.
If he's born in November, I bet you Ding Ding's parents have been talking.
Hey, you know what? Nah, never mind.
Hey, Valentine's Day, baby, that works.
Coach Ron with a comedy. He's bringing it. If that's your A game, Coach, we know you got better. We know you got better. Disappointing loss for Tennessee Tech. Obviously, a team that was high there in the rankings, but it just is going to divide that conversation of those teams on the east of the Mississippi just cannot hang with the Missouri Valley, sans Yale, apparently. So
well, but if you look at it, they did. They just fourth quarter wore them down. Their offense put them in just so many bad spots in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. The final score just doesn't say it, and that's what people will remember. So
they're right there. They just didn't. They didn't have the depth. They didn't have the depth along the offensive and defensive lines, and eventually that wore them down.
Yeah. All right, up next, we've got this one. UNH had to travel out to snowy Brookings, South Dakota. Chase Mason returned, and it was Chase Mason leading the Jackrabbits, 41-3 victory in that first round of the playoffs. It was Chase Mason returning for South Dakota State lineup after a long layoff and led the 14th seeded Jackrabbits to touchdowns on their first 4 possessions en route to that 41-3 victory. UNH only had 48 yards through the air, Coach Jackson. Not sustainable. Total offense, South Dakota State had 425. New Hampshire only had 192. Julius Luffridge crossed the 100-yard mark once again and had 1 touchdown. This was a pretty good ass whipping by South Dakota State. They played really good back-to-back games. We got a lot of we had a lot of things to say about them getting in the playoffs. Hey, they showed up. Congratulations to them. Now they're moving on, and they've got a very, very tough game coming up against Montana at 2 o'clock on ESPN+. So 41-3 was the final, Coach.
It's pretty simple. With their quarterback, South Dakota State, one of the best teams in the country. Without their quarterback, South Dakota State's one of the worst teams in the country. So they've got their quarterback, and we'll see how it comes out this week.
Yeah. I really believe that it would have been a shame to leave South Dakota State out, but losing those 4 games in a row, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth when you got Tarleton just lost that last game, and you would have loved to see Gabalis or Teron Dickens, those names that we talked about. We wanted to see them try and face some of these big opponents. So, but it was a tough trip, by the way, for New Hampshire going across the country and into that snow. So. No judgment there. Ron Lowney coming in. Southern Illinois just beat Illinois State 37-7. The Missouri Valley 7th best team could win 90% of these other conferences. You know what? I mean, it's an argument. I think Brandon actually put up a really interesting stat that showed MVFC against all the other conferences. It's pretty equitable, but in the playoffs, you just don't see it. You just don't see it. All right. Moving on from this one, this was not very competitive either, so we're going to jump into the South Dakota and Drake game, 38-17. South Dakota, the Coyotes really never looked back. They pulled away in the second half to beat Drake, and 17-10 was the halftime score, by the way. It was a good game. Quick third quarter start by South Dakota extended their lead. 38-17 was the final. South Dakota quarterback Aiden Bauman, very, very critical of that young man. I'm very happy for him. He did well, 15 for 20, 261 yards, a career-high 4 touchdown passes. 3 of those went to Lorenzo Fenner, who had 5 receptions, 115 yards, and 3 touchdowns. South Dakota LJ Phillips Jr. rushed for 132 yards on 14 carries, including a touchdown, and Drake quarterback Logan Inagawa had a solid outing with a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown as well. And their wide receiver Jackson Voth led the Bulldogs in receiving with 10 catches, 86 yards, and a late touchdown. It is South Dakota at Mercer. That is going to be an interesting one at noon on ESPN+. Thoughts on this one, Coach?
Yeah, no, I really don't have none. It worked out about the way I thought. Drake just simply doesn't have the horses to play with South Dakota. I don't think South Dakota is a world beater by any stretch of the imagination. So I will be looking forward to them playing Mercer this week. But it was one of them deals. I wish Tennessee Tech had gotten the same draw that South Dakota had. Maybe Tennessee Tech would have fared a little bit better with the other South Dakota team.
Yeah. Well, We'll see. Yeah. I think who was that said, New Age said, at least they didn't have to go far. Drake there in Iowa. Bobcats are in the big sky. Okay, honestly. Paper Hands Moonboy checking in. Honestly, I think every MVFC team except NDSU loses this coming weekend. All right. Let's go. Let's bring the heat. Paper Hands Moonboy. All right, let's go. I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about. We'll kind of take a little peeksy-loo at some of the games coming up this weekend. We do have this game coming up. This was a HBCU matchup and shocking games here in the HBCU, Coach. It was the 52nd annual Bayou Classic. Saw Southern rally from a 17-7 halftime deficit to defeat Grambling State 28-27 and secure its fourth straight win in a rivalry at Caesars Superdome. By the way, crowd, 63,000 people showed up for this, Coach. Hello. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Where's ding, ding when you need them?
Yeah, that's why they're not worried about playing in the FCS playoffs.
Exactly. His second win on the season. It was just the second win of the season for Southern. First conference win for the Jags, dropping Grambling to 7-5 and 4-4 in the SWAC. But it's the second season in a row they beat Grambling, if I'm not mistaken. Southern running back Barry Remo was the offensive MVP. Had 100 yards and 7 carries, a 15-1-yard touchdown on third. And running back Troy Holly also had 2 rushing touchdowns for the Jaguars. Good for them, and their uniforms were fire, Coach. They had all gold with a light blue trim. Yowzers. Yeah. It was very, very, very good. Very, very good. Yeah. Good win for Southern. Doesn't mean a whole lot for the conference, but it's a good win.
But good win for them, and what a game it was. And here's the other thing. Congratulations on Southern welcoming their new head coach, Marshall Falk.
Yes.
In the building. So you get a good win in to finish off your season. You got a new coach coming up. Sky's the limit for Southern next year, I hope.
Oh, Steve Hotchkiss, you got to love those uniforms. Those things were fantastic. Oh, my Lord.
I approve Southern's uniforms.
I thought they both looked great. Looked great.
Too.
All right, final game that was of the weekend is Coach Jackson.
Dude.
Mississippi. This is the second season in a row FAMU drops to Mississippi Valley State. The Devil, what are they? The Devil Dogs or something? Delta Devils.
Delta Devils.
Yeah, the Delta Devils. All right. It was a good one. Let's go ahead and run through what we got here. It was the Delta Devils, 5 touchdowns, 4 passing, 3 interceptions to knock off the Rattlers for the second straight time. Quarterback Brandon Nunez was a star, accounting for 4 of those total touchdowns, 3 passing and 1 rushing. Game-winning score, 9-yard touchdown pass, Nunez to their Mackay Norris in the fourth quarter. Congratulations to Mississippi Valley State University. And I think that was 28,000 people that saw that one as well, Coach Jackson. Well-attended games. Those HBCU, FAMU. That's a disappointing loss. I think you may be hearing some changes there in the locker room as far as the head coaching position at FAMU. You can't do that, and you can't lose, and they've had a tough season.
Yeah, I don't mind telling you, Mrs. Jackson, she's a little down in the dumps. The Rattlers' teeth done fell out, and and I believe there was somebody on the marching 100 that was a little bit out of line. She seen that, and she went.
Oh boy,
dude, she was mad as all get out. I do believe, and Coach was it Cozy? Coach Cozy's the coach at FAMU right now. He's only been
He's
only been there a couple of years, but you're not going to stay long losing to Mississippi Valley State in Tallahassee.
No,
it's been a tough season. I'd like to see him give him a chance, but man, I don't mind telling you the seat's heating up in Tallahassee for him.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta wonder. Yeah. All right, let's take a quick peek-see before we get out here on week 2. The Saturday starts with Villanova and Lehigh. That is going to be in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. They're calling for 35-degree weather. We're not going to do our picks just yet. We want to get Brandon in here. We'll let the the chat have a couple days to think about it. We'll be back Wednesday night. I think we're going to have a special guest on Wednesday night as well to talk some football, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, so we'll just kind of go through these games real quick, talk about what we got for the weekend. Villanova at Lehigh. Lehigh 12-0, Villanova at 10-2 on the road. What Villanova showed, Coach Jackson, I think they're bringing a sledgehammer to Lehigh, to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. We'll see how that one's. Just your quick thoughts on that one.
Well, they better bring a sledgehammer. From what I saw out of in that Lehigh and Lafayette game, Lehigh's got a good defense. They're very sound. All their gaps are covered. Now, they're not the biggest team in the world. I think I told you, it looks like a bunch of linebackers out there, but very sound, very, very solid. It's going to take everything that it's going to take everything that Villanova's got. And Steve's right on FAMU's championship there. I think the coach was Billy Joe. I can't think of Billy Joe's last name, but I know his first name is Billy Joe. Used to coach at Central State.
That was 1979, 78, 1978.
Yeah.
Head coach. Here we go. Chat's already got it. I'm sure. Actually, their head coach was Rudy Hubbard.
Yeah, like I said, Billy Joe, Rudy
Hubbard was their head coach. Just a bit outside, Coach Jackson.
Well, they did have a coach named Billy Joe that was very successful. I believe he come from Central State, and they love him there. That's all my wife talks about. So anyhow,
we must have a bunch of Dallas Cowboy fans in the thing here. We're going way back with these championship conversations.
But hey, on a good note, that Villanova Lehigh game is going to be one of the best ones on Saturday.
Yeah. One of the ones I'm going to be paying attention to is South Dakota. I'm actually toying about going down to Macon and see it. South Dakota at Mercer. It's going to be at 5-Star Stadium. It's going to be a beautiful day, high in the 50s, 55, 60 degrees down there. South Dakota 9-4. Mercer 9-2. That young quarterback from Mercer, Atkinson, really a strong kind of athlete you kind of want to watch. Is this stage too big for him? We shall see. Yeah. Aiden Bauman's coming in. That's a veteran quarterback there for South Dakota, playing very well. Your thoughts here?
Well, they got him at home. It's a tough trip for South Dakota down to Macon, and if they eat some of that Macon food, they're gonna have some trouble too. I'd feed them good on Friday. That's gonna be a great game. It's literally gonna be South Dakota's big guys versus Mercer's
quick
special guys. They're quick guys. I don't know if they'll be able to handle their receiving corps.
We'll see. We shall see. Illinois State and North Dakota State. It's the MVFC matchup there in Fargo, North Dakota at 1:00 p.m. Shame this is not on national television, by the way. Fargo, North Dakota, Fargo Dome is always a difficult place to play. Illinois State's going to have to go in there and do the unthinkable because from day one, Coach, we've been saying Cole Payton and this North Dakota State team are not going to lose a game this season. And so far, 12-0. And Illinois State's already seen their wrath. What you thinking here?
Well, it's going to be big boy football. I know that. For what it's worth, Illinois State is built to beat a team like North Dakota State. I don't know if they get it done, but they are built to beat them to compete with them.
Yeah.
So I want to see how it comes out. I'm not counting them out just yet.
Yeah. We're going to see. They've got the tools are there, I think, for Illinois State to make it upset. They're just going to need some help, in my opinion. Abilene Christian and Stephen F. Austin. This is a 1:00 game, 1:00 p.m. ESPN Plus game in Homer Bryce Stadium in Nacogdoches, Texas, and it should be a good one. Should be very, very well attended. By the way, this is a game you're going to see that's going to be sold out. So Abilene Christian and Stephen F. Austin. Stephen F. Austin, did they play earlier this year?
Believe they did
not. No, they did not. I don't think they did. Let me just check real quick. I don't think they did. They have a long history. Yeah, they did not play this year. Oh, they did. I'm sorry. Abilene Christian. They lost to Abilene Christian. SFA beat them 28-20. So a little revenge here for Stephen F. Austin. Opportunity there at home. So we shall see.
It was early in the season. I don't believe Stephen F. Austin had their defensive line in place the way they like it. I'll be interested in the rematch. Whoever loses got to change their colors, is what I hope, though.
Oh, wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah, whoever loses got to get rid of purple,
and the other team gets to pick what color you use. It'd be the most effeminate color, mauve.
Yeah.
That'd be great. That'd be great. So that game is ESPN Plus 1 o'clock. North Dakota and Tarleton State, another 1 o'clock game in Stephenville, Texas at Tarleton Memorial Stadium. 11-1 Tarleton State. This is their chance. Get that taste out of your mouth and go beat North Dakota, who's a very good team and shown they can travel and they come out swinging. So North Dakota and Tarleton is going to be a great football game.
Yeah, I'll be Shepherdsville or Stephenville, wherever they play. Stephenville's a tough place to play. It's about a couple hours outside of Dallas. It's in the middle of nowhere. It'd be hard for me to believe the stadium will not be packed. It'll be hard for me to believe that the Plowboys won't be in full effect. It'd be hard for me to believe that there won't be 15,000 people, boys, girls named Tyler there. And they're going to have an atmosphere kind of like what they got down at RGV. So it'll be a tough place to play. It'll be a tough game. I think I'm going to tune into that one too.
Hey, at 2:00 p.m., it's the SWAC Championship, Coach. It is Prairie View at 9-3 and Jackson State at 9-2. This is at Mississippi Veterans Stadium there in Jackson, Mississippi. So this should be a great one here. Jackson State and Prairie View. A couple years ago, you're not even thinking Prairie View's in the conversation. Good for them. What a job they've done in rebuilding that team and coming back and now playing in the SWAC Championship. 2:00 on ESPN2, a nationally televised game.
Yeah, there'll be 30, 40, 50,000 people at that ball game too. And man, it's going to be Jackson State's tough out at home when Coach Prime's not coaching. If he was still there, I'd pick Prairie View, but without him, that's going to be a tough place to play. But hopefully it'll be a good ball game and really show what HBCU football is all about.
Jackson State has put it together, and they had a stumble early, but they have put it together, and they're a fun team to watch. By the way, just like Alabama State, Yale and Montana.
Something with the lousy logo on the side of the helmet.
Jackson State, the blocks, the children's blocks.
Yes. Do better.
We remember we made one. We did an AI one, and it was fantastic.
Yes.
We should send it to them. Free, courtesy of the FCS CheckDown. I was going to change everything to FCS Smugdown, but I figured since Yale won, we have to. Speaking of Yale, they are traveling out to Bozeman, Montana, 2 p.m. ESPN Plus in Bobcat Stadium. I've been there. It's a beautiful place. Rumors they're building another stadium. I thought if someone's out there and knows, I've heard they may be taking that stadium down and putting up a new one, but
I think they're adding on.
Maybe adding on. Okay. It's a beautiful stadium. Fantastic. The Rocky Mountains right there.
It's going to be even more beautifuler.
It is going to be much more beautifuler. Yale at 9-2. Montana State at 10-2. Justin Lamson. What a freaking baller that young man is. And then you get a chance to see what Josh Pitzenberger can do against that Montana State defense. This should be a fun game. I'm really looking for this one as Colby Kluth coming in. Go Cats, go. Yeah, of course. What are your Yale came back, but they had to come back against Youngstown State. Just your thought. What are you thinking here?
Well, this is a different animal. What I'm hoping happens is that a lot of the Montana kids maybe a little bit behind in their grades or something like that, and some of the Yale kids can maybe listen, lay down and we'll tutor you. But I don't know. It's going to be a completely different experience for them as opposed to going to Youngstown State. So. I feel sure that they'll be prepared. They'll make the travel out there, but when they get there, they're gonna see some dudes in them other colored jerseys. So best of luck.
Yeah, you know what? Go out there, make a good showing of it.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. And then South Dakota State and Montana, that should be a nationally televised game without question. Matter of fact, game day should probably be there in Missoula. It's the 9-4 South Dakota State Jackrabbits and Montana Grizz at 11-1 in Washington Grizzly Stadium. It's going to be 40 degrees there. That's pretty nice, balmy weather there in Montana, Missoula this time. Second round FCS Championship. This is what FCS football. You can talk about a marquee matchup. Yeah, this is what you're looking for.
Yeah, it's the to me, and I know I'm gonna catch a little bit from the Montana State folks. It's the best atmosphere in FCS football. It's the best stadium. They got the best fans. They got the best layout. They got it's gonna be a blast. I'm looking forward to it.
You gotta think that Montana's gonna be favored in this one. But with Chase Mason coming back, how does that tilt the scales in your opinion?
Well, South Dakota State's a different team with their quarterback. So, it definitely levels the playing field for them.
I agree.
Without him, they're gonna get beat. Without him, they're gonna get beat by 50. With him, they've got a shot.
Yeah,
and literally, he has to put the team on his back. So, good luck.
Yeah. Obviously. And, one thing that you look at what Teron Dickens did, he made the entire offense better. Couldn't do much with the defense. All right, fair enough. But he made the entire offense better. That's what Chase Mason does. The defense, in my opinion, has been a weak spot for South Dakota State this season. So, those fans are insufferable, says Jared. Imagine that he's talking about Montana State.
Yeah.
I friggin' love it. Not to mention Montana has their own refs. Brennan.
Well, not all 8 of them, but they got 5.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So Damien 123 comes in and says Grizz defense is trash.
Okay.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see. Rhode Island, by the way, I'm saying 35-38, some kind of close, tough game. Damien says, yeah, Jack's going to put up enough points. Damien, how many points do you think they need to put up? Just out of curiosity, before we move on to Rhode Island and UC Davis. Sounds like a
dude. They got to put up 30. They got to put up 31, 34 points.
I'm thinking 35. I'm thinking 33, 35, 38 points to win. So interesting to find out what Damien says before we move on. If he may have dropped, he may be like, I'm out of here. Jack's defense. Okay, Seth himself comes in. Jack's defense hasn't been what it has been the last few years, but it's still pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about relative, right? Relative to what we've seen in the past. Yeah, Damien says 30s as well. Seth, I agree with you 100%. Grizz offense is a challenge. Yeah, Kelly Ayotte and Eli Gilman. Yeah, don't forget our boy Bohannon.
Well, hey, who's got the better special teams? I mean, we're sitting here talking about both of them got good offenses, both of them defense here or there. Who's got the better special teams? That may come into play.
You know what? That's a good question. Let me see if I can pull their quick player stat. Oh, gosh, I just hit the wrong stupid button. I would imagine they're both pretty good special teams as far as field goal kicking. And let me go here.
Yeah, in my mind of what I've seen a little bit this year, I would almost contend that Montana's got the better special teams. There's been a couple of games I've seen that whoever the kid is that wears the punt returner seems to be pretty good. Now, I do have to give a little bit of credit for South Dakota State on defense. They've got one linebacker that's got the long – I mean, it's not a full long hair. It's kind of like a Timu Polamalu.
The Timu, DH Gate, yeah.
Yeah, but, dude, he gets after it too. So, but, it'd be surprising to me. I'm not so sure that special teams doesn't make the difference in this ballgame.
Yeah, Jack's punter – Damien says Jack's punter is elite. I think he's averaging like 46, yards per kick. Grizz special teams is a little better. with Wortham. Yeah, he's returning kicks back there. So I'm just going to look at team statistics and field goals per game. Are you talking about returning kicks, Coach?
Well, I'm talking about returning kicks. And I think the kid's taken one or two back for touchdowns this year. Yeah. So, like I said, I don't have it. I hadn't done all my little research, but in my mind, I think Montana's got the better special.
Montana is, as far as returns go, they are 13th in the nation, whereas South Dakota State, I'm still going in at 46. They're beyond 50. Yeah, from what I can tell.
Well,
unless
you heard
I've
it here.
Made a mistake.
I believe special teams probably going to be a difference in this game.
Yeah, South Dakota State could either win this game or get blown out. Yeah, by the way, because of the roller coaster they've been on, Austin, I think you're exactly right. If we come in there, we'll say, see, they shouldn't have been there. We told you. But if they win, they'll be like, hey, Chase Mason back is, that's the way we play it. All right, was that the final game? I forgot now what we're doing here. Let's go back to back and one more. And, Rhode Island and UC Davis is the next one. It's the 10 o'clock kickoff. Rhode Island coming all the way across the country, 11-2 to face 8-3 UC Davis at UC Davis Health Stadium in Davis, California. And Rhode Island. Yeah. It's a long way.
Yeah. Which Rhode Island team shows up?
Devin Farrell is great. That kid Littleton Jr., which you know a good bit about, is very good. You turn the ball over once, I think you're in big trouble. And UC Davis is, that's the way URI is going to stay in this game, is if they just play good, grind out football with no turnovers. I love that Steve McKenzie has mentioned the Davis logo, the antique gold helmet. Are you talking about where it says Davis on one side? Or
probably talking about the old California Angels.
CA.
No, probably the old California Angels little logo.
No, I like it too. It looks classic, but actually that's not. If you look, they haven't had that logo that long. It looks kind of antique, but it's good. It's good. All right, chat. You guys have been awesome. I think we had a record number of live viewers on this broadcast. So very, very cool. Thank you guys so much for being active in the chat and help us out. Sorry, I missed a couple of you guys because I'm still stressed, whatever. But good stuff.
Let me say this about the UC Davis game.
Okay.
If Rhode Island gets down, it's hard for them to me. It's hard for them to come back. If UC Davis gets down, they have a better chance of coming back. So Rhode Island's got to start. They've got to come out and they've got to start fast. The middle eight, the last 4 minutes of the second quarter and probably the first 4 minutes of the third quarter is going to be the most important part of that ball game there.
Yeah, absolutely. This is an interesting stat. Jared just pulled it up. SDSU's never won there at Washington Grizzly Stadium, 0-7.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting. Lyle, thank you guys. Thank you so much for being active in the chat. Thank you for coming back and checking us out. More Bobcats, Nathan. I know we got to do some more coverage of Bobcats. Like Montana State doesn't have enough coverage. Hey, we're gonna make we will do what we can. I think we'll be talking about Montana State for a long time to come. And I do believe we've reached out to Colby Carthel, and we're gonna try have him on the show Wednesday night. A little teaser there. If he can make it, of course they are in the midst of preparing. But if he's willing to take up a few minutes to talk to us, he's always been great. He's always been a great guest, and he's been on the show probably 4 or 5. He's maybe been the most often guest we've ever had here on the FCS Checkdown, when it was way back when it was the AQ7 or whatever we can call it, whatever names it's been.
If he comes on the show, that's who I'm picking. Ain't no way I'm picking against Coach Carthel if he's on the show.
No. Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe I wouldn't have him on the show if. But you know what? If it backfires, and he may never come back on the show, so we shall see.
If he does, he's about to unveil that defensive line that he's got, which again a lot of folks don't know. But there you go. They're one of the best defensive lines in the country, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Jackson, you got anything for the next couple of days? You good with Wednesday night?
Man, I'm real good for Wednesday night. Oh, you know what? I don't know because Ryan's graduating. We're actually heading to Richmond Wednesday. His graduation's Thursday. But
Okay.
I'll be there in time. I just won't have the nice office that I got right now.
Whatever it is, we'll coordinate. We'll put it out on the chat so you guys can check us out. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you again for being in the chat. You guys have been so awesome. If you got any thoughts or comments, you want to see us do something like more Montana State coverage, let us know. Be happy to. Yeah, I'll be more happy. I'm sure we'll get Yale, Drake, Dayton. Anyway. Yeah, you guys have been awesome. Please like and subscribe. It does make a difference as we're tracking our stats. 68% of the viewers of this show do not hit the like button. So if you are watching, whether live or whether on record, please like the show. If you like the content, leave us a comment. If you don't, appreciate it. We try to interact with you guys as many ways as we can. For Coach Ron Jackson, I'm Nathan McCreary for the chat. That is awesome. We'll see you on Wednesday night probably. If not, we'll update it and whatever. But have a great rest of the week. This has been the FCS CheckDown. Let's go. Come on.